Good morning, everyone. My name is Vivette Eaton, and I'm the director of the educational technology company Laser Systems and Laser Learning. We've started a series recently on what a quality assessment team looks like, which has been broken down into several different subjects. Today, we're looking at achieving quality through giving smart feedback. What is the purpose of feedback? Most people want to achieve, be successful, and be considered as good at their job by others. How do we know if we really are, though? We can guess based on our own assessment of ourselves, or we can get valuable feedback from others. In an assessment environment, it is expected that we feed back to our students to help them develop and to encourage vital growth in skills, knowledge, and confidence. We will be looking today at the feedback in terms of giving to our learners and how we can apply some of that knowledge into how we look at each other as a team. Why is feedback important? If we only ever reflect on our own tasks and abilities and do not take feedback from what others around us see and experience, then it's very one-sided. You might be a perfectionist and never give yourself credit for a job well done, as in your eyes it was not quite good enough. Or you might be the type of person who feels satisfied with all they do and doesn't open up yourself to better practice or change. I'm sure if you're listening to this today, you are unlikely to be that person and are actually someone who wants to be continually improving. Quality comes through being open to feedback. So creating a culture of positive honesty, that's what we need. We need to develop helpful feedback by everyone, to everyone in our assessment teams. We cannot be giving better or worse feedback because we do not know or like the person we are feeding back to. Feedback must be measurable, honest, and precise. The quality, depth, and nature of feedback from an external auditor to an internal quality assurer is likely to affect the level and type of feedback that quality assurer then gives to their trainers, which then cascades down as feedback given from the trainer to their student. Why? Because most of us learn by example. Therefore, if you want to be part of a quality assessment team, you need to be that example, no matter what your role in the team is. How do we lead by example? If the feedback you receive from managers and peers is given appropriately and is constructed to help you improve, you will in turn see the value in feedback and feel encouraged yourself. You will then feel able to give similar feedback to peers and students and ensure it is a positive experience for all those involved. We need to create teams that expect and actively look for feedback to be able to continually improve practice. What is useful feedback? Well, how many of us can unfortunately say that they have received feedback from an IQA, or even as an IQA ourselves, given feedback that is merely a tick sheet of what has been covered, or a well done, I agree with your assessment decision, that type of feedback statement. This gives the impression the IQA thought it was hardly worth taking the time to sample and feed back to you. Please don't forget as well that if someone in your team feeds back to you and you don't feel it's adequate feedback, take control yourself and ask for more guidance. We can, however, rather than giving simple feedback that says well done, use specific and well thought out wording such as, I agree with your decisions and was particularly pleased to see that you provided ideas to the student to extend their knowledge even though the criteria were met. I can see by your work plans that you have invested time and effort into supporting this student. Thank you. That type of feedback gives me a whole different feeling. We often talk about SMART feedback. So what does that actually mean? What do the letters stand for? They stand for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. So let's start with specific. We've all heard phrases spoken to young children similar to such as this, you are a good boy. Well, what does that mean? Does it mean he's a good example of what a boy is? Does it mean he's behaving well? Is he better than other children? It would be far better to say to him something like, I think you're being such a good boy because you're being kind. I think you're a good boy because you are doing what I asked you to do. Now he knows how to be good again. We need to be specific with adults too. Let them know what they are good at or what we think needs improving. Don't just let them guess that you're well done, what your well done means in relation to one or all the areas of their work. Measurable. How can feedback be measurable? Feedback should give measurable achievements. If you are asking for a student to do more research into an area, make sure that you ask them to complete something measurable, such as reading a certain number of pages or completing a certain amount of activities. Asking a student to research more on this topic is often too vague, and the student could spend hours and hours on a topic unnecessarily, or could spend just a few minutes on something that does need more dedicated time. The student needs some guidance in terms of what they should be able to understand or what they need to be able to achieve after completing their research. Likewise, a colleague that needs to improve needs to know how and why. We are in the training business and put so much effort into training and caring for our learners. We need to apply the same principles to our team and our colleagues. And then achievable. It is essential that when asking a student or a member of staff to complete a task, that it is achievable. There is nothing worse for self-esteem and morale than setting a person up to fail or giving them something to complete that they know cannot be achieved. If we did that to our learners, we would not have a job for very long. But to do it to our colleagues, is that somehow okay? I don't think so. Our students and our staff will have a range of abilities and commitments, and so a plan that suits one person may not be suitable for another. Asking a student who struggles with reading large amounts of text to read multiple chapters in a week may not be achievable for them, in the same way as asking another student who only works with two other people to get feedback from 5 of their colleagues. Not achievable. In terms of our colleagues, let people mentor, support, and guide others according to their strengths, not their weaknesses. We all have different skills to draw upon. That is why we have a team. Relevant. In the world of vocational assessment, we need to keep tasks and learning relevant and contextualized. It's no different when it comes to feedback. The feedback concerning what a student or trainer is doing must be based around what is appropriate for the situation they are in and the work they are doing. Keeping feedback relevant means ensuring you are clear with what you want from the student or team member to understand and learn from the feedback, as well as the actions they need to take next. Time-based. In terms of giving feedback, it's important that any instructions you give are time-based, given straight away. This is the final part of the overall SMART feedback model. If you are a student, to read a chapter dedicated to something they need to understand in more detail, they should be given a specific amount of time to do this. Open-ended assignments rarely get completed. Why would they? They don't need doing by any specific time, so clearly they're not that important. Having an achievement date gives the student something to work towards. Otherwise, they may forget the task or might decide to prioritize it over something else which is more important because they don't want to be late with it and don't know when late is. Don't leave it too late to give your feedback. If you wait a week for your feedback and your next plan, other things have already filled your mind. New work and social plans will have dwindled the excitement of waiting for a response to your efforts, and this moment of excitement is quickly lost. For many of us, when we completed our courses and qualifications years ago, we had to wait for the post or for an assessor to arrive in person with our next plan, our feedback, or a teaching session. That is so not the case any longer. With online systems and emails, and in many ways, it's now no longer acceptable to young people to wait for anything. We live in an instant world. Ensuring quality. When this way of working is used properly, giving smart feedback according to what's just been talked about, it is much more effective and efficient and ultimately saves time, resources, and money. Providing positively structured, constructive feedback in an appropriate way at all levels, from EQA and IQA to trainer and student, will improve practice and understanding across the board and will lead to the student being informed about their learning and the assessment process, and to a colleague feeling secure and confident in their role. This overall leads to better quality teaching and learning for staff and students at all levels. Laser Systems are the creators of the Laser e-portfolio and professional laser lessons online learning resources. Our laser short courses provide CPD training online and are written by occupationally competent experts in their subject area. The laser combines all your assessment, IQA and EQA needs with learning resources to provide everything you need to deliver compliant training. Our products are available across the UK and internationally. You may find that doing one of the short courses on being a team leader or supporting others is helpful to you. Please do go to our website and look them up. If you have any further questions about anything that's been talked about today or any of the laser resources, please do get in touch with me. I'll be happy to take your call and discuss your needs with you and see if we can perhaps help you to develop further in your chosen area. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.